Well, good evening, everyone. I should say afternoon. As you can tell, the sun is out. I'm going to enjoy a Kentucky fire cure. It's one of the last few times I think I'm going to be able to be out here. The sun is going down a lot quicker than normal. I'm having a time and a half of getting this band off. Oh, I could just slide it right off. Look at that. There you go. So a lot of times it doesn't work sliding, but I may be able to make it here. Yeah, the sun's getting darker and darker. No, the sun's not getting darker. The days are getting darker. The days are getting shorter. The days are getting darker because the sun is going down sooner and sooner. I don't think that still is very good grammar. Anyways, I am having a very hard time getting this. If anyone knows a way to get these bands off easily, I assume sometimes a band comes off very easy, and then sometimes it's a 5-minute process. This video is going to be over before I ever get the band off. But it is a gorgeous day. I may have to just start over. Oh, hold on. I think I got something here. This is looking like success. We're coming close. The challenge with this is to not mess up the cigar. I've done that before, and in taking the band off, I messed up the outside of the cigar, and then it just doesn't smoke as well. It falls apart. This one looks like it was Gorilla Glued on or something. I don't know. There we go. We have achieved. We are bandless. There we go. My birthday is coming up, and I got a present for my birthday. It's the biggest lighter I have ever seen in my life. Actually, there's a place on the top there, as you can see. So if I'm out, I can just set my cigar right there on top. That's cool. It's got the flame. It's got a little latch here on the side. Got some good action to that. A V-cut. I do like the V-cut. Wow, that makes a deep V-cut, that's for sure. You can see that's a pretty good sized V-cut. That's half my cigar gone. Well, let's see how this lights. Does it light? There it is. It's on a very low flame. As I light this, let's see if this will. There we go. A very smooth flame to it. Nice lighter. And a nice cigar. Not sure I like it that deep of a cut. That's a deep cut, but we'll work with it. Anyway, such an absolutely gorgeous day. It rained all yesterday. We did need it. I've been doing quite a few videos. I really enjoy them. They're kind of cathartic. And I've been able to do them because of the nice weather that we've had. That's been nice. But as I said, since it's getting darker earlier, by the time I get home, I won't have to start going downstairs because it's going to be too dark, maybe even too cold. But it'll be nice to be in the library again. I love it when the sun comes down. You can see the smoke. My goodness, the leaves are so beautiful out here. They're just radiating. Got a lot of birch trees around. Not birch, maple trees. Beautiful maple trees. They're all turning orange, yellow. I can see them as I go down the road. As I was driving in this morning, I was thinking about life. You get in a car, you don't have much to think about. You can think deep thoughts, especially when you're in traffic. I thought about, as you turn 50, a lot of people's minds go to the fact that their life, I hope this doesn't sound morbid, but a lot of people's minds kind of go to the reality that their life is pretty much half over. Not something someone wants to dwell on, but it is something you need to come to grips with. In fact, as I was thinking, I thought a lot of people, you get into your 70s, you don't really know what the end of life is going to hold. I don't know what percentage of people make it to their 80s, but if you're 40, that means, if you make it to 80, 40 is halfway through your life. If you make it to 90, 45 is halfway through your life. And there's not a lot of people that make it to 90. So I said, by the time you hit your 50s, you're a decade past just simply the midpoint of your life. And I think that realization causes us to kind of sit back and reconsider things. What I was reconsidering, or what I was considering, was kind of how a person wants to spend the end of their life. You get close to a point of retirement, if any of us ever get to retire, you kind of think, what do I want to focus on? What is my interest? What do I want to do in the sunset years of my life? Now, if you're lucky, or I should say if you're fortunate, and maybe the same thing, if you had a job that you loved, then every day was a day that you could get up, you could go to work. My son is like that. He found a career in being a mechanic. He absolutely loves being a mechanic. He loves getting up in the morning at 5 o'clock. He drives into work. He's there by 6 o'clock. He works till 4 or 5 o'clock at night. But he says every day is something new and he loves what he does. And I said, that's really the big secret to life. But I don't think a lot of people are in that boat. I think the majority of people find themselves taking a job, not really what they want to do, but just a job that provides a livelihood. I think this comes from a variety of reasons. You have things that happen in life. You've got to provide. You get married, you have kids. You don't always get to do what you want. I think there's few people that really get to do what they really want to do in life. So you live your life and you get to the end of it toward 58, 59, 60, early 60s, you're thinking about retiring. And if you've not been able to do what you wanted to over your life, I think maybe you think about, well, if I'm going to take the rest of my life, the last few years of it, 20, 30, even if there's 35 years, what do I want to spend it doing? Now, I know we all have interest. I've mentioned a lot of my interest. I have gaming and things of this nature, and I've been able to do that over the years. But as you get there towards, as I said, the last half of your life, and you're not really sure how long you're going to live. No one's guaranteed a day. I think people gravitate in one of two ways. Either they say, The time I have left, I want to do this. And maybe they say it's gardening. Gardening is what I love. Gardening is what I want to do. So if they're not at work, they're probably gardening. They build greenhouses, they grow plants, they plant plants, they harvest, they do all the stuff that's there. If it's golf, they'll try to go golfing every Saturday. Every chance they get, every beautiful day, I want to go out and I want to golf. And I think a lot of people, they would, as you focus on the end of your life, or the sunset of your life, you're like, I just want to do that one thing, and I'm going to do it as much as possible because I really enjoy it. But then there's people like me. People like me who have too many interests. I have too many things that I want to do, and my entire life has been about that. Kind of going from one thing to another, because I love learning something, digging down into it, figuring out what it's all about. And I'll keep it kind of in the back of my mind, but I'll find something new that usually is related. Sometimes it doesn't have to be related, but a lot of times it may be related or ancillary to whatever that event was, that hobby. And you kind of find yourself doing that. You got 2 things, and then you got 3 things and 4 things, and eventually some of the things you get so far away from your original that you're doing new things. And I mean, to me, I love that. But you get to the end and you think, well, what do I want to spend my time doing? Is it reading? I mean, for me, I enjoy gaming, as I've said. I enjoy reading. I actually enjoy writing. Shared a lot of those things here with you. But you get to a point, you're like, I can't do all that stuff. I only have time for so much, and you're trying to do too many things. You get 10, 12, 15 different interests. And all of a sudden you think, well, I can do one for an hour a day, but I can't really progress down and really dig down into that and do that thing. So you find your time kind of divided too much. Now, thankfully, one of the things that I've been able to do in the last few years is kind of consolidate, aggregate everything together. I love reading. I'll never give that up. I love books too much. I love reading, whether it's philosophy or history, theology. I mean, all the different ologies that are out there. Politics. I enjoy reading all those things. But one of the things I also like to read is fiction. I used to feel guilty when I'd read fiction. I thought, well, you're not learning anything from that. But there's a benefit to stories. There's a benefit to doing that. And my love of reading kind of led to, as I said, I think in one of the videos earlier, kind of tied in with my love of gaming, especially gaming that's more fantasy-based, because that's kind of fantasy novels, fantasy-based gaming. And with that, my desire to write, I kind of combined them all together to write a fiction novel. I would love to, when I retire, just be an author. That would be great. And I thought if I could tie all this together, so my enjoyment of reading, writing, gaming, which is why I created Lore, because that kind of gives me all of them together. I get to write about a world that is supporting writing a novel, in which the world in which the novel takes place. And there's reading that's involved in that. You're doing research. But it kind of involves other things. I enjoy painting. Not painting probably as you're thinking about it. Not Mona Lisa kind of painting. I could probably create some stick figures on a canvas. And you could even tell what they are if you looked at it hard enough. But for the most part, I'm not a painter in that way. When I'm talking about painting, I'm talking about more miniatures. So, part of the game. There's a game called Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer 40K. So you have an army. You can have a fantasy army or a sci-fi army, the Space Marines and everything, and you kind of have terrain and you fight based on certain rules and rolling dice and stuff. So it's a strategy game. It's kind of like chess on steroids. And that kind of stuff I enjoy, and that's a part of kind of the tabletop role-playing game, like what lore is. What I've always enjoyed about lore, and about gaming in general, the type of games that I've always played, even some board games when I grew up, is that you sit around the table with other people and you're telling a story together. And it's the ancillary conversations that happen kind of adjacent to the actual game conversations that are going on that really make the night go by. I mean, people have talked about how long does it take to play lore? And I said, well, it takes as long as you want it to take. I know usually you sit down and you play a game that's about 3 hours long. Now, people that are not part of this tribe, this society, usually respond to me and say, how in the world can you sit down for 3 hours and play a game? I mean, my goodness, even Monopoly doesn't take that long. But when you're in the game, you're all trying to solve a particular puzzle, or you're on a quest, as it were. But it's amazing to sit down with people, especially at conventions. And I have a chance this weekend to go to Gamehole Con. I've never been to this one. This is a smaller convention, gaming convention, but you sit down with a group of people, 5, 6 other people you've never known. Within 5 minutes, you're all working toward the same goal. You're all telling a story. You're contributing with your character. And it's the, as I said, it's the conversations that just go on outside of the actual gameplay that can make 2-3 hours go by. One of the things I really enjoy about gaming at my age, when I used to game when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, I mean, several of us would get together. We may get a bag of Dorito chips and have a drink, Pepsi or something like that. That's about all you could afford. I mean, now as you get a little bit older, it's like, let's order pizza. Let's have a couple pizzas. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's a lot better food. And you get to come and go as you want. So I got to thinking, I'm excited that I've developed hobbies I enjoy that kind of all have a connection to one another. Like if my 2 hobbies were travel and gardening, and I enjoy gardening, I enjoy travel, but you're really kind of hard to do that simultaneous unless you're going to travel somewhere and take some plants and bring them home. They don't really like that. Kind of hard to bring a tree on a plane. So if you had really diverse, vastly diverse interests, you'd have to almost pick one. I think I've been able to kind of take 4 or 5 that I really enjoy. Because as I said, the painting, the miniatures are all part of the game. And I don't really need to, I'm just going to even this up. And it just gives me an opportunity to play with my lighter again. It's very heavy. It's like a tank. Let's just put that in your hand there. You could throw that. If you needed a weapon, I guess you could throw it. I wouldn't want to throw it. It's too valuable. But yeah, if you can put all this stuff together, the miniature painting is doing that really is more the characters in the game. You can buy 28 millimeter, you can buy terrain you can make, but I don't know, I can sit there for hours and just kind of build a medieval, a house from a place, or it's a tavern, or it's landscaping, or it's painting the miniatures. You're painting all this stuff. You're crafting in that sense. But time can just get away from you, and I find it very relaxing, especially in the winter. Winter, you get up here in Michigan, you're not able to do very much. I mean, I enjoy snowshoeing, but we've actually had such little snow the last couple of years that I haven't even been able to go snowshoeing. But when you go snowshoeing, you go out for about an hour and you're kind of done with that for a couple of days. So this is something you can do inside, especially when it gets dark. Game inside when it's dark. You can ride inside. You can read inside. It all kind of works together. It's kind of nice for the winter, especially from Thanksgiving on. Thanksgiving to about February. At least from Thanksgiving in the year, I'll put on Christmas music. I'm a huge fan of Christmas. Always been a big fan of Christmas. Something about it. You just put on some music in the background, get your paints out, and just paint away. All right, you got the characters, kind of all works out. If you're obliged to do so, I'd love to hear some of the things that maybe you're looking at in your life. Is there one hobby that you would say, this is what I do, and this is the rest of my life is all I'll do? When I retire, I'm going to double down on that? Or are you more like me and have diverse hobbies? And if you have diverse hobbies, have you found a way to connect them all together? That's the challenge. And just thinking about the different things I enjoy, archery and hunting, motorcycle riding, hiking. I don't have a motorcycle anymore, so that makes that one a little bit harder. The challenge here in Michigan, there's so many deer that people every year die. And it's like deer come out in front of them. There's people texting. I do enjoy photography. I've tried to put that a little bit into some of my, taking pictures for the book, and I've done some product photography in the background, some wedding photography. But now I do photography more just for myself. I just enjoy that. But I combine that with hiking. So when there's a pretty day, go out hiking, especially now with the leaves. There's a couple of places I want to go to take some pictures, and hiking out to that is relaxing. So, if you can combine those things together into maybe one or two big hobbies, associated hobbies, aggregating everything together, that could be helpful. So you can actually do more than just one thing. I guess what I like about it, if I can combine like photography and hiking, camping, they're all associated. They're all nuances of the same thing, because you're all out there doing them simultaneously. So it's more than just one thing. When I'm gaming and writing and reading, painting, all that is still the same kind of genre of hobbies, and but it's just nuanced flavor. It's like eating, I guess, ice cream. I don't want to just eat strawberry or vanilla or chocolate. I remember growing up, my parents would always get this stuff called Neapolitan ice cream. Never knew why it was called Neapolitan. I guess I always think of the word metropolitan. I said, that doesn't make any sense. Why is it, what does it has to do with a city? or a collection of people, but it was always, you had the strawberry, the vanilla, chocolate. But I enjoy Rocky Road. I enjoy a little bit of just vanilla bean, but I put other stuff in it, walnuts and syrups of all kind. I mean, it really becomes a sloppy mess by the time I'm done, but it tastes good because you can taste a variety of things in it. So it's nice whenever your hobbies kind of take on a dynamic feel to themselves. I mean, you've got a variety of things kind of going on. But yeah, write some of the things, or give me a video response. What are some of the things that you enjoy doing? I mean, pipe smoking, and of course in the summer and the fall, early fall, definitely cigar smoking because I'm outside. But even that, I mean, if I'm smoking a pipe or I'm smoking a cigar, I'm usually out here. If I'm not recording, I'm thinking about aspects of the story, thinking about quest in the game or what I need to do with that. So I'm kind of thinking about, or where I'd like to go camping or photograph. And you can smoke a pipe when you're outside. That's always good. But you kind of combine them together. Try to make as many connections as possible. One thing I don't want to do is just kind of squander. Well, one of the reasons why I want to put these things together is you don't want to squander the remainder of your life. As I said, none of us know how long we have. You never know what's going to happen. Accidents happen. There's issues that come up that we don't foresee. Just use the time wisely. But I don't want to be scattered all over the place. So it's like, put these things together. Make the most of them. I think that can make for a good life. A meaningful life. I think in Socrates says the unexamined life is not worth living. But it's more of an intentional life. So, that's important. It was 42 when I got up this morning. Getting a little bit chilled out here. I had a short sleeve and I put on the long sleeve. I'm headed to the gym here in just a little bit. I kind of dread that because it's not cold enough in there to wear a full sleeve. Then you wear a short sleeve out and going between the car and the gym, that makes it a little bit cold. So that's kind of miserable. But it's a short walk, so I shouldn't complain. Well, I'm not complaining. I'm observing. Maybe that's what it is. The cigar's getting close to being gone. Another metaphor for life. You start with a full life, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you're right down to the stub. But it is so relaxing just to sit out here and smoke a cigar. Well, let me know your thoughts. Hopefully I'll see you soon or hear from you. And I'll be back on. I am going to go, as I said, to that convention this weekend. I'm looking forward to that gaming convention. The vendor hall is the best part for me because I get to see all the different products that are out there. And I'll take some pictures of that, and I'll kind of take a little bit of, give you a report, hopefully Monday or Sunday evening. Probably be late. So I may do that inside in the library. That means it'll be a pipe smoke. But I'll give you an update on what happened there and how things went. Maybe even take some video while I'm there. I can kind of splice that into this. So you enjoy the day. I think we're coming right up almost 30 minutes. These are getting longer and longer. but they are enjoyable to do. So enjoy the evening, enjoy your week. Hope you have some great hobbies, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.